have gifts, you don't need to be validated by everybody that you see.
Yeah.
Own your gifts and go for it. You
Yeah.
just make sure that you serve your purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's excellent that you have such a good memory of those defining relationships that really solidified uh, these these tenets, these ideas inside you. One being your commanding officer who validated assumptions that you already had. It's just so much more meaningful when someone else
Yeah.
externally validates things you think are true. Then you know they're true.
Yeah.
And then in that example as well, just the idea of, oh yeah, you're right. I don't need validation from everyone else. I know that,
Hmm.
but when I hear from someone else, that really drives it home for me.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's probably something I need to work on.
Hmm. Max, you and I are very similar in that we love being around people.
Yeah,
I don't know your personality site, dimensions, but I'm what I call an introvert extrovert,
yeah,
and I'm naturally defaulting to introvert. However, when I'm energized, I can easily switch to an E. I think it's very important that people realize that both are important,
yeah.
right? And there's value in being both. I remember I used to take this Myers-Briggs personality indicator assessment,
Hmm.
and on some days I was an ESTJ or I was an ISTJ. The letters would stay the same except for the E and I.
Yeah,
Isn't that amazing?
yeah.
So I know I'm right on the tip of that. But to your point about feedback, feedback is important. And it's important to get honest feedback so that we can improve performance. And
Hmm.
the geek gonna come out in me just a little bit. There's this theory called goal path theory. And goal path theory essentially says that we are driven to achieve our goals by being intrinsically motivated,
Mm.
interested in the work. We feel that there's meaning in the work, but we also need to know that we receive feedback. We need to receive feedback so that we can make the necessary adjustments so that we can go to the next level.
Yeah.
And I'm acutely aware of that theory, and I would have to say it's very true when it comes to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I do need feedback because through feedback you get better.
Hmm.
You also become aware of the need to make adjustments
Hmm.
and refine your plan, and that's how you get better. You know what the saying, "Iron sharpens iron," and that's a very true statement, especially when you have very high aspirational goals.
Yeah. Yep. I would say we're probably similar in that introvert extrovert way. I think many people would probably say it's similar to you that they would look at me and say, "Oh, he's obviously an extrovert." But that really is only, like you said, when there's some intrinsic motivator that's kind of lighting you on fire. And it was important. I remember when I realized that the distinction there, because it's easy to say, "Oh, I am an extrovert. I like talking to people." But I think someone summed it up for me once by saying, how do you feel recharged? Do you feel recharged by talking to people just for the sake of talking? Or do you feel recharged when you finally get to go off and be by yourself?
Hmm.
And for me, it's the second one.
Hmm.
I do love talking to people, but it's really in the areas where there's something like this. This makes me an extrovert. Small talk at a cocktail party doesn't make me an extrovert. It
Right, right,
drains me
right.
quite a bit.
Exactly.
I think people probably would do well to know more about that, to understand that in themselves too, and
Hmm.
not just feel like they have to belong in one camp.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that notion. I know that sometimes it's situations on the ground. Like, for example, there are times where I'm speaking every day for 7 to 8 hours a day,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking for that moment just to catch my breath.
Yeah.
And that I comes out strong.
Yeah.
And I will get to myself. I write down my thoughts. I will reflect. Um, but then there are times when it's maybe 2 or 3 day gap before I speak to people, and I'm like, man, I can't wait to get out there again. I can't
Yeah.
wait to share this dream and to share this vision. So my E and I shifts based on the situation on the ground,
Mm-hmm.
um, how often I'm in contact with people, the size of the goal. Like sometimes you need to be by yourself
Mm-hmm.
just to make sure that you have this moment to reflect and to make the necessary adjustments in your business planning so that you can achieve your goals, right? If
Mm-hmm.
you're always talking and you always have this on light or this on switch, it's hard to get big things done because I know entrepreneurs that have this tendency to always want to be around people, but they're not getting anything done.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now,
Yeah.
if you were lucky and fortunate enough to have a business partner, then that's good. They can kind of offset that. But I would say having this sense of self-awareness and knowing when you need to recharge, reflect, and actually get things done is a very important characteristic of an entrepreneur.
Sure.